Wissota Race Trax. See the asphalt burn and the dirt fly. Highlights and insights of Wissota racing in the U.S. and Canada. Wissota Race Trax is brought to you by The Race Shop, located in St. Cloud, Minnesota. The Race Shop is your new one-stop shop for racing. And now, let's go racing!
Welcome again to another week of Wissota Race Trax. I'm Ted Ostead, and along with Wally Shaver, and boy do we have highlights for you this week. We had crews up in Manitoba, out in the Dakotas, all over Minnesota, and of course we caught some action in that cheese country of Wisconsin.
You know, they have never let us down every time we've gone out there with our cameras so far this season, Ted, but I don't know what it is they put in that cheese, but they sure provide some fantastic racing excitement, and we're never disappointed out there. Looking forward to it. We've got some super action coming up for you.
One of the highlights that we have, or one of the tracks that we'll highlight, is Cedar Lake Speedway in Somerset, Wisconsin. They've got 5 divisions of Wissota racing, and Wally Shaver has all the action for you.
If you want to see spectacular international-style racing, just head over to Cedar Lake Speedway on Saturday nights. 3 regulars from Thunder Bay, Ontario make a weekly visit to this 3/8-mile clay oval in Somerset, Wisconsin. They include late model drivers Joel Kreiderman, Rob Halstead, and Tom Nesbitt. It was Halstead in the white and blue number 52 machine surging to the opening lap lead over the yellow and red ride of Rick Cobbs in K1. An early race stall brought a restart. Watch as a blue and yellow 51 car of Joel Kreiderman darts down low to Russell's second spot from Cobbs. Next up, Kreiderman won this door-to-door duel to take the lead to turn 2. Halstead in 52 found himself going 3 wide with Cobbs and number 2 Mike Nutzman. Man, is that nuts racing or what? Halstead tangled with Cobbs a lap later, and this time a turn 2 nudging sent him to the infield. Kreiderman opened a commanding lead over a group disputing second place. For the moment, Cobbs held point over the 88 car of John Krasinski. Cobbs in number 1 liked the outside group but found problems there later on and faded back. Joel Kreiderman went on to claim yet another late model win at Cedar Lake and is presently 3rd in Wissota national points. Mike Nutzman finished 2nd in this race with John Krasinski hitting the stripe 3rd. Here are Cedar Lake Superstocks. They look similar to the late models but are a more economical car. The Supers start with a regular streetcar chassis and add the racing components from there. Paul Nyshus began the Saturday night's racing on the inside of row 2 in his blue number 15 ride. After looking inside on the back straight, he moved outside in front of the grandstand to take command of this feature race. A little paint swapping here as the 1A Superstock of John Hinkemeyer worked alongside the number 5 car of Charles DeSmith. The lead group was drawn together after a restart, and Hinkemeyer traded his paint swapping for lead swapping with race leader Paul Nyshus. A fun battle going on between these two kept a large crowd on the edge of their seats. Planting his nose in there was number 30 Scott Cobbs, brother of late model driver Rick Cobbs. Scott finished 3rd in this dash to the finish. Nyshus claimed the win with Hinkemeyer in 1A having 2nd. Wissota Sprint didn't have as much competition up front as Kent Winters powered his dark blue wing machine to the first turn lead and never looked back. 2 minutes into the contest, the temperature was rising behind the leader. Mark Toes in number 5 was holding off Spike Lampilius in the red number 52 Sprinter. A lap later, Spike pounded home the nail, passing Toes for 2nd and fended off the sliding ride of Tony Norum up in the marbles in car number 2. Kent Winters carried on to a big win. Wade Nygaard was 2nd, and Spike Lampilius crossed in 3rd. Now, let's go to Hibbing, Minnesota with Ted Ostead.
Iron Range racing can sometimes get a bit scary. A big pile up that sidelined some good race cars at Hibbing Raceway marred the first lap of the late model feature. Plenty of carnage after this incident. When the field did see green, number 7 Harry Hansen and the number 11 Budweiser car of Tim McMahon jumped out to battle for the point. Hansen was eventually able to solidify the lead, with McMahon settling into the 2nd place spot. Car number 41 Bob Reed tries to take away 2nd by going low. He had to back off a little, then he gives it another shot. He's finally able to get past in turn 3. A great battle for the 4th place position between fellow Canadians Tom Nesbitt in car 1 and Joel Kreiderman in car number 51. Those 2 veterans ran hard the whole race. Up front, it was all Hansen as Reed in 41 would try to close the gap. but was never able to post a real serious charge. McMahon was third with Nesbitt and Kreiderman rounding out the top 5. Wissota Modified action is always wild, and look at this field come to life at the drop of the green flag. Lauren Tardy is the early leader, but that is short-lived as number 37 Kelly Estee pushes his car to the limit, shoots down low, and completes the pass for the lead down the back chute. Mike Rich in car number 18 is the car on the move trying to track down the leader. He cleared the second place car of Tardy, but still had a lot of real estate to make up before the checkers. The one thing that would help is a caution, and Rich's wishes came true with a yellow bunching up the field and placing him right on Estee's bumper for the final dash for the cash. Estee never misfired as he held off the challenges of Rich to post his 4th win in 5 races at Hibbing in the Modifieds. Darrell Nelson in car number 44 made a last gas pass to secure 3rd. The winner in the Super Stock feature was number 99 Denny Vachelle. When we get back, we'll test out your knowledge with some Lou Fager's trivia, and we'll take a trip around Wissota country, including up to Canada.
In the heat of battle, you need to have a reliable source for parts and service. Don't be left wondering if your parts are on the way. Call the Race Shop for all your racing needs. Our fast and friendly staff are always ready to get you back on the track and into victory lane. Call our parts order hotline at 1-800-367-8112 and experience what a race shop is supposed to do for its customers. The Race Shop, your new one-stop shop for racing.
Want to see Wissota's best action? Say I. I-94 Speedways, that is, in Sauk Center and in Fergus Falls. Kick off your weekend Fridays at 8 p.m. in Sauk Center with 5 classes of cars. See them again Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. in Fergus Falls. For ticket information, call 612-352-5263. For Wissota asphalt excitement, say I. I-94 Speedways. See you at the races.
It's a known fact that dirty carburetor wastes gas. Let me show you the easy way to clean your carburetor with JB Carburetor Cleaner. Printed on the back of this can are 3 simple steps, and it takes less than 10 minutes to do the job. JB Carburetor Cleaner cuts through the carbon, gum, and varnish that ruins your car's gas mileage. Buy a can of JB Carburetor Cleaner wherever automotive products are sold. Tell him Ed Justice sent you.
From the dirt tracks of Wissota to the asphalt of I-94 Sauk Center Speedway. I tell you, the racing action was so fantastic, it had the fans screaming. Let's start with a 4-cylinder modified. Scott Atkinson cruised to the early lead in his yellow and red 4-banger. His toughest competition came from number 79, Scott Richardson of Fargo, North Dakota. Richardson's efforts proved to be second best last Saturday as Atkinson cruised to the win. When the 8-cylinder modifieds tried to get going, Steve Johannick had a scare as the field approached the green flag. The current points leader, number 1, was hit and almost flipped before he could get a lap in. When the race did commence, they roared around turn 2, 3 wide. Dave Stork flew into the lead in his blue and red number 57 modified. The number 2 ride of Dave Kane was raising Kane here as he pulled away from a side-by-side duel. Stork and Kane fled from the field and decided this one between themselves. Late in the race, Kane took the lead going into turn 3 and then lost it when he became loose in turn 4. The number 57 ride of Dave Stork stabilized his position and cruised on for the win. Kane crossed second and Jerry Voigt was third. Late models. Outside starting spots were looking good in the feature. Jeff Hinkemeyer in number 4 and Rich Snyder in his late number 1 ride flew past the interior boys and set the pace. The main race evolved for the 3rd spot between number 7, Dick Johannick, and the 52 late model of Mounds, Steve Fagers. Johannick won the early battle but lost the war when the young Fagers regained his spot and finished the race in 3rd. Despite a couple of restarts, Rich Snyder couldn't reel in St. Cloud's Jeff Hinkemeyer in number 4. If you like lead changes, the super stocks at I-94 had several. Early in the race, Leon Brutker moved to the front on lap 3 as he drives his blue and white number 8 Chev past Kevin Joransen. Brutker's stay at the helm lasted only a couple of circuits as the Justice Brothers number 18 super stock of Chris Groth went low out of turn 2 to become the third leader. As Groth walked away from the field, Brian Roach in number 99 surged past Richard Thompson and eventually reeled in Leon Brutker to earn second place. Chris Groth stretched his lead, and even an unexpected sway through turn 4 didn't face the race winner.
The State Fair Speedway is a big half-mile track in Huron, South Dakota. And a couple of weeks ago, our camera crew was able to get out there and get some great racing footage. And I'll tell you, we are glad he was there. What a great race in the Wissota Late Model. 24 cars lined up for the main event, and Dave Marlowe put his number 11 Ford ride to the point right at the drop of the green. Marlowe's closest competition came from Dennis Mosier in car number 63. Mosier was not alone as he had plenty of company in the battle for second with number 73 Doug Dinger and number 22 Randy Schilling. Dinger ducked under Mosier in turn 4 to wrestle away the number 2 spot, and Randy Schilling in car number 22 followed closely behind, pushing Mosier back another spot. Almost forgotten was the number 11 ride of Dave Marlowe. He had built himself a big lead. The car on the move, though, was Ron Droog in the X car. Droog is one of the hottest drivers in the Dakotas, and everyone had their eyes on the crafty veteran. He disposed of Schilling in turn 4 before working low on number 73 Dinger. Droog moved in second down the back chute and set his sights on the number 11 Ford of Marlowe. A restart gave him his chance, and Droog shot down low while Marlowe tried the high side. Turn 3 was where Droog was able to nail down the lead, and then he never looked back as he cruised to yet another feature win. Now that the season has hit full speed, it is time to begin keeping a close eye on the national point standings in each of the 6 Wissota sanctioned divisions. Thousands of dollars in bonus money is on the line, and close to 2,000 drivers are looking for the pot of gold. The Wissota Late Model sees Jimmy Mars atop the point standings. Mars has been very successful at the Western Wisconsin tracks, as seen here on his way to a win at Red Cedar Speedway. Mars' nearest competition is Minnesota's Rich Snyder in the Anderson Trucking number 1A car. Joel Kreiderman, Ron Schreiner, and Jeff Hinkemeyer round out the top 5. New to Wissota this season is the Mod 4. With over 70 drivers competing for the very first national championship in this division, 64-year-old Loyal Scusa is the current leader. His track rivals Dave Stork and Scott Atkinson are second and third, with John Notch and Dave Schaefer rounding out the top 5. Wissota Street Stock national points look like this. Bill Wernett in first. Slim Jim Gustafson is currently in second, with Rick Hannestead, Justin Aylward, and Eric Olson rounding out your top 5.
Winnipeg's Victory Lane Speedway is under new management this year, and at the helm is Larry Nebel, and he has also set the record straight on car weight limits. Let's go up to Winnipeg and get the report.
You guys must meet the weight on this scale. In other words, I could care less what your car's weighed at home or at the grain scale or anywhere else. You will meet what this scale says.
Larry lived up to his word, and this night went without incident. So let's get on to the racing, and as we look at lap traffic in the Superstock heat, keep an eye on the orange 130 car coming into your screen.
Stu Fraser driving the 130, Keith, really aggressive, as you can see, muscles his way through turn 4 here. It even slides up a little, gets up against Ed Friesen here at the finish line.
And he held off Kevin Sexton for the win. I'll tell you, there were a lot of blown engines on this night. Roland's Jeff Pritchard among the victims. The Superstock feature was in danger of hitting its time limit due to a number of mishaps. First off, the red 56 of Danny Albrechtsen goes up and over the top. And then Pat Fraser displayed some more of his aggressive driving.
Stu Fraser's always where the action is. Now here he tries to get by Rick Blaine on the inside and gets a little over anxious, spins Blaine around in the 5 car. The action continues as Kevin Hasse gets a little loose in turns 1 and 2, and of course Stu Fraser's right there in the Drag City number 130.
But the one I liked involved the 57 car of Kevin Sexton.
Well, Kevin loses the left rear here, and Rick Blaine gets into him, of course, and look who pulls in to make sure everything's okay, but Stu Fraser once again in the 130.
When the dust settled, though, guess who took the checkered flag? Wayne Fiddler in the red 55 won his 4th feature in 5 tries. Quite the recovery considering he flipped his car last week.
For complete, in-depth coverage of the entire Wissota region, turn to All the Dirt, the official newspaper of Wissota Racing. All the Dirt publishes 30 big issues each year, including weekly issues all racing season. All the Dirt carries weekly results from every Wissota track, photos of your favorite cars, national point standings, track schedules, and official Wissota news and information. For your subscription to All the Dirt, call area code 608-489-2875.
Hey, race fans! Looking for heart-stopping auto racing excitement? Check out your nearest Wissota Race Trax. From Bozeman, Montana to Marshfield, Wisconsin, Wissota action is high. Over 2,000 of the Midwest's best drivers, both asphalt and dirt tracks, racing action. Grab the family and make tracks to your nearest Wissota Race Trax. Wissota Racing. Put a little sizzle into your summer.
Attention racers, your one-stop shop for racing is now open for business. The Race Shop in St. Cloud has everything you need for your racing operation. Circle track or drag strip. The Race Shop has a large inventory of parts, complete engine service, and a new state-of-the-art dyno room. Located just east of St. Cloud on Minnesota Highway 23, or call in your order toll-free at 1-800-367-8112. Fast and friendly, The Race Shop, your new one-stop shop for racing.
Cedar Lake Speedway brings you the best of both worlds. Saturday nights at 8, witness late models and sprint cars. It's 750 horsepower right before your very eyes. These babies fly at over 100 miles an hour. Plus, you'll see super stocks and street stock. The best of both worlds comes to Cedar Lake Speedway every Saturday night in 95. Every Saturday night at Cedar Lake Speedway in New Richmond, Wisconsin. Beware!
Heading north into Wissota country, you'll see many tracks that dot the landscape across the Iron Range of Minnesota. Superior Speedway entertains race fans on Friday nights with Wissota action in 4 divisions. A couple of weeks ago, our northern Minnesota cameraman, Brian Twig Thompson, ventured out to Superior Speedway to catch this action for you. Some great racing in the late model as Tom Nesbitt grabs the early lead, but hold tight. Number 11D, Dan McMahon, turns it on and takes over the lead. In fact, he never looked back, posting another Wissota late model win for 1995. Super stock action was just as hotly contested, with Jeff Ruzick taking the initial lead over the pack. Steve Rosine nabbed the number 2 spot, but had his hands full with the 36 ride of Darren Mariotto. Darren closes the gap and then gets a little too close to Rosine in turn 3. The nudge sent Rosine into a spin out that cost him a shot at winning the race. The driver on the charge was Jim Rich in car 55, and all that stood between him and the win was number 36. It did not take very long before Rich had disposed of the 36 car and taken over the lead. That was all she wrote as Rich cruised to the feature win. Finally, Kelly Esty claimed yet another feature win in the modified. 2 nights later at Proctor Speedway, Mr. Esty picked right up where he left off, making all the modified drivers just pull out their hair. Esty has been tearing up the tracks of northern Minnesota, and he took advantage of his starting position at Proctor, grabbing the lead at the drop of the green. Mike Rich was his nemesis as the 2 battled wheel to wheel, putting on a great show for the race fans. Entering the race at the front of the pack was number 44, Darrell Nelson. He and Jeff Marshall moved into the number 2 and 3 spots, with Nelson able to wrestle away the second place position. Kelly Esty had his hands full as Nelson looked to steal away all the glory. Nelson gained control on the low side and powered past down the front straight. The favor was returned 1 lap later as Esty moved his number 37 ride to the low side and darted past Nelson's number 44 to regain the point. If that's not enough for you, race fans, look, here's Nelson trying to move again, but this time he cannot complete the pass. Kelly Esty held strong as Darrell Nelson settled for second, but what a race.
More action from northern Minnesota as we head up to Grand Rapids Speedway. The best show of the night took place in the Wissota Superstocks. One of the top drivers in Wissota country is number 71A, Ryan Aho, and he jumps out to the early lead here. Hot on his tail are the number 4 car of Mike McAdams and number 24, Bobby Kittmer. What a charge by number 33 ride of Sam Skolsky. He takes over the number 2 spot and pushes McAdams and Kittmer back to 3rd and 4th. One thing I like about this track is their double file restarts. They make for some great side-by-side racing, and that's what the fans like to see. Hooray for Ted Carlson and his crew at Grand Rapids Speedway for making a few out of the ordinary changes to make a better show for the fans. Aho and Skolsky battle for the lead side by side, while Todd McCallum in number 41 passes Kittmer for third. McCallum pulls up on the tails of the leaders, creating a great race for the lead. Skolsky jumps low in turns 3 and 4 to steal away the lead from number 71 Aho. McCallum is looking for a shot at Aho, and while he is looking, wham! Here comes number 28 Jeff Provenzino. Watch number 28 move. Exiting turn 2, he is clearly in third, looking for room on the outside. He sees an opening entering turn 3, and get out of my way! Slides in between Aho and Skolsky to grab the lead. But this race is not over. A restart punched the field together, and wouldn't you know it, number 71A, Ryan Aho, used the situation to his advantage. Finding some bite down low, he was able to take his lead back in turns 3 and 4. Provenzino pushes real high and ends up losing 2 positions. Aho wins it, with Skolsky second and Provenzino settling for third. The win will keep Aho right in the thick of the national points chase for the Superstocks. Other winners at Grand Rapids Speedway included number 21 Justin Allward in the streets and Tim Carlson in the Wissota Modifieds.
In the heat of battle, you need to have a reliable source for parts and service. Don't be left wondering if your parts are on the way. Call the Race Shop for all your racing needs. Our fast and friendly staff are always ready to get you back on the track and into victory lane. Call our parts order hotline at 1-800-367-8112 and experience what a race shop is supposed to do for its customers. The Race Shop, your new one-stop shop for racing.
Legend Car Racing is here. For information on our Legend Car Racing School and series race dates, call now.
They're 5A scale replicas of 37 and 40 Chevys and Fords. They have motorcycle motors, and they're all identical race cars. They're built affordable so that anyone can buy a race car and go racing and have fun without spending a lot of money.
Don't wait. Call now for information on race dates and our Legend Car Racing School at Elko Speedway.
Hey, race fans! Looking for heart-stopping auto racing excitement? Check out your nearest Wissota Race Trax. From Bozeman, Montana to Marshfield, Wisconsin, Wissota action is high. Over 2,000 of the Midwest's best drivers, both asphalt and dirt tracks, racing action. Grab the family and make tracks to your nearest Wissota Race Trax. Wissota Racing. Put a little sizzle into your summer.
Do you have oil spots on your garage floor? If you do, you may be headed for an expensive repair bill. If the leak is from your engine, JB has a product that stops engine oil leaks while you drive, JB Engine Stop Leak. If the leak is from the automatic transmission, use JB Transmission Stop Leak. Both products are guaranteed to stop the leak or your money back. Watch for this JB sign wherever automotive products are sold. Tell him Ed Justice sent you.
The Champ-Pans Driver of the Week comes to us from the heart of cheese country. One of Wisconsin's hottest drivers is Mike Kelly Jr. Kelly won 2 Wissota Modifieds feature events this past weekend. His first came Friday night at the St. Croix Speedway in Centuria, Wisconsin, and his second came the very next night at Rice Lake Speedway in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Congratulations to Mike Kelly Jr. for being selected the Champ-Pans Driver of the Week. Wissota Racing champions count on quality racing products, including Champ-Pans, the #1 choice by Midwest drivers for quality racing oil pans.
Here we go, race fans. Wissota Warp Speed. Last week, Paul Hammernick was selected to be the Champ-Pans Driver of the Week. He continued on his winning ways this weekend, picking up his 3rd feature win in 2 weeks. Hammernick held off Dave Steers to win the Wissota Mod feature at Winona County Speedway last Saturday night. Also winning at Winona County were Roger Herrick in the Superstocks and Denny Schott in the Street Stock. Action on the asphalt in Fergus Falls was hotly contested last Saturday night. Kevin Jerrenson continued to dominate the Wissota Superstock. He led the entire feature event and is the current point leader at I-94 International Speedway. Steve Fagers found his way back into victory lane after struggling the past few weeks. Fagers passed Jeff Hinkemeyer on lap 4 and never looked back. Other winners at the track included Steve Johannick in the Modified and Scott Richardson in the Mod 4. Rice Lake Speedway saw some repeat winners in victory lane. Don Drew won his 4th Superstock feature of the year, and Mike Kelly Jr. became the first repeat winner in the Wissota Modified. The Modifieds had 2 wild rollovers involving Steve Keister and Don Paddock. We'll have some great pictures for you on next week's show. Up to the Iron Range in Hibbing Raceway. Terry Hansen notched the win in the late models, Mike Rich in the Modifieds, and Jeff Ruzick in the Superstock. Some great racing action for the fans to catch on any Saturday night. Ashland, Wisconsin is home to the ABC Raceway. And this past weekend, Darren Mariotto topped the field of Superstock, while Al Boatinen and Kevin Bogdanovich won the features in the mods and streets. Friday night racing at Princeton Speedway saw Don Eichens win the Wissota Modified feature. Jeff Patchen improved his track point lead in the Superstock by winning yet another feature. Grand Forks Speedway had a twin billing this past weekend. Friday night action saw Stony Crook win the main event for the Modifieds. Brian Strand bested the field of late models, and Jack Reed won the Superstock feature. Reed followed up his win with another win on Saturday night during the Speedway Sprint Car Special. Quite the weekend of racing for Jack Reed. Leo Burkhartsmeyer continues to build his lead in the national point standings for the Wissota Modified by winning the feature at Red River Valley Speedway last Friday evening. Burkhartsmeyer is the first to say that experience will win you races, and he has good advice for the younger drivers in the circuit.
And seat time is an important thing, you know, and as time goes on, they'll get faster. There's a few of them tonight. We were having fun at the beginning, you know, so anybody can get beat on a given day.
That's it for Wissota Warp Speed. See you at the races.
Well, there was so much close racing action around Wissota country here. We're pretty much tuckered out after this one, Ted. But we've got lots more coming up your way, folks, because we'll be out with our camera crews all throughout Wissota racing country. Can't wait to get back out there myself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back out there. And we'd like to welcome aboard IVL Post, our new production company. They'll be out there venturing out to all the Wissota tracks. And we'd like to welcome aboard Bob Rohde and all the gang at IVL. Thanks a lot, gang. And we'll see you next week for more Wissota Race Trax.